African timing. African timing. 30 minutes later.
But we know African time. But we know wherever we go, the time that applies is African time.
So we should say 12:30 for one instead, right?
12:30 for why? No, I'm sure people got that. It's actually 1 for 1:30.
All right. Let's just see who is online. Okay. I think I think the one thing for me is that I firstly just want to say thank you for making the time on your Saturday to sit and chat to us. There's something very close to my heart when it comes to, if you look at what we've been going through and what we're being exposed to in the last couple of weeks, you know, we've shifted from the normal into a space where uncertainty, fear, so many things that have literally crippled people. And the one thing for me was, where's the gap? What is needed right now? How can I play my part? And I remember I've been following you on I do view your statuses, and there's always so much positivity and everything. But what I found even more interesting is the fact that when I heard your story, and I was like, this girl, how does she do this? How does she maintain such a positive outlook despite everything that she's going through? So before we get too much into stuff, I first want you to tell me.
Start crying.
No tears, please. I don't have tissues. No tears. Let's be strong. No tears. It's gonna smash my mascara.
Yeah, yes.
So I think firstly, just introduce yourself. People are watching. Who's Thuto? And where are you from? I didn't even know who was Sotho. Like, who is Thuto? I think that's the first thing I just want to know.
And someone that not just to someone that
too much.
Yeah, I know. Hi everyone. I'm Thuto Assegai, and I'm from the Free State. Hence, yes, I was born and bred in Kronstadt. It's a small town in the Free State. Yeah. So, yeah, I grew up there, and then I moved to Gauteng in 2007. It was to further my studies. I stayed in Gauteng before in Tsakani while I was doing my grade 6. Then I moved back to the Free State. Yeah. You know, home is where the heart is most. Yeah. So 2007, because I matriculated in 2006. I was 16 years at the time. So 2007, I moved to Gauteng to further my studies. It was another story, that one, because what happens is that I've always wanted to be in the entertainment industry. So my dad and my mom didn't approve of that. Because all my dad would think of is like, hey, you want to go act? All I can see, all I will see is you kissing another man on the screen. So that is why yeah. So, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. So my mom actually forced me to study travel and tourism. I wasn't
his mom watching,
but I'm sure she's listening. I'm sure she can hear me. But that's exactly what happened. Yeah. I was forced to study travel and tourism, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all, but I learned to like it, and I did graduate. I've got a diploma in travel and tourism. So yeah, I've been in the industry since from 2011. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I wanted to start with that because I knew that at some point you'd also touch on your career trajectory. And I think a lot of questions will
Mm,
be a bit later from that. So
mm,
I think for many people, I remember reading a newspaper article right at the beginning, was it towards the end of March, April? And I remember the headline then was the anticipated layoffs as a result of COVID-19 and organizations not being able to thrive under this and all of that.
yeah.
And then it is still what was still something that was just in the newspaper. It was not something that had impacted maybe you, not me, and it had not really gotten to that point. And for you, I remember now
Mm,
a couple of weeks ago, you sent me an email and you said, "Hey, Ange, just wanted to let you know that I'm being laid off. And if you don't see me or hear from me,
yeah.
just understand that this is what was transpired." And it came as a shock. So for
Mm.
me, the first thing that I really just want to ask at this point is to say, what has that journey been like for you? When you first learned that this is the outcome, how did you deal with it? Wait, did you go into some form of maybe anxiety, or did you just how was that process? How did you manage that process?
Looking at the industry that I'm in, it was something that was expected, but when it happens, that when it really hits you, that it's really happening. So, to be honest with you, it was never easy. And it's still not easy today, even though I make it feel as if it's easy, or like maybe when people look at me, they maybe think that it's easy. So it wasn't easy. I remember when I got an email, because I actually got an email, not even a phone call. I got an email, and yeah, I've got an email. I was when I woke up this other morning, I was like, let me just check my emails. Let me just go through my emails, even though I know that it's not busy and all that because of the industry's quiet due to what's happening now. Let me rather check
Mm.
my emails and clear everything that I don't need. And then that's
Yeah,
when I saw the email, and I read it twice. I felt like maybe I read it wrong. I read it for the second time, and I was like, I didn't read it wrong. It's actually happening. This is what's happening. Like, I don't have a job. I no longer have a job. So you can imagine when you get such an email in the morning, you don't know what to do, where to go, like who to call. So in the first week of it, it was really, really bad. I remember like I was crying myself to bed every now and then, especially after letting some of my clients know that, you know what, I'm no longer with this family. And the responses that I got from my clients, it touched me in a way that God, did it
yeah.
really have to be in this manner? So talking
Wow,
does help. I don't want to lie. Talking does help. If someone is going through this out there, hear it from me
wow,
today, hear it from me now. Talk about it. Let it out of your chest. The talking does help. People don't only help financially, but people just sitting there and listening to you, that helps a lot. It helps a lot.
wow. So are you saying that there was no form of consultation that happened prior to that? There was no criteria followed? Because I know that I'm aware of a few instances, even in my direct line of work, where a letter has been dispatched and you've been notified that so many people are going to be impacted, and you are notified that this is the process we are going to follow, the criteria, and we are also going to further consult. So it will not be just a slap of a letter in your face or an email.
Mm,
There'll also be your direct manager who has to sit down with you and take you through the process. And I think the other thing that I found very interesting is that the normal procedure and right way of doing things is that you will also be told that this is how we got to this point. If there are
mm,
other ways in which we can still salvage your position, we want to hear what those proposals are. So the retrenchment becomes the very last resort. But what I'm
mm.
hearing you say to me right now is, listen, I just got an email, and was there any form of consultation after that?
There were consultations prior to the email. there were consultations, so there was a criteria that was used in the process, but the criteria that was chosen, I never thought I would be affected, you know,
Wow.
even though it will still hang around that what if, but I never thought that I'll be part of the people that will be affected. So yes, we did have consultations and all that. And my personal opinion, I don't think like they did enough to try secure the jobs. That is only my opinion. So the criteria was used, the criteria that was used, which is last in first out, that was the criteria that was used. So as I said to you, that I never thought I would be affected, and I personally thought that for people that were affected, before sending them an email, you would rather call them first, so
Yes.
that like you talk to
Yes.
them. Yes, you talk to
Yeah.
them, make them understand. Like just before you send an email, just make sure that they understand what's happening and like they cool, they expecting that. So I never got a phone call first that, you know what, yes, you know, we've chosen this criteria, and unfortunately you're one of the people that were affected.
Wow.
I just got an email that I'm one of the people that were affected. So I was expecting a call first to put me at ease, you know.
Of course,
So
because
that,
I would
yeah.
imagine that the I don't want to say the right way, but it would be yeah, let me just use the word right, it's fine. It would be the right approach for me to come to you and say, hey, listen, this is where we find ourselves. As a result, this is what's going to happen. You're going to be impacted, and that, and that, and that. So that way, I
Yeah.
also get to deal with you on a personal level before I then correspond and send you an email or send you a letter. So it's
Thank
quite
you.
disheartening, honestly, to hear that that is the way it happened. And it brings me to my next, because as all of these things are happening, whether a person is employed or not employed, the time that we are going through is not a nice one. It's not an easy one. The
No.
depression and so many other psychological illnesses can emerge from the space, because the person
Yeah.
who has a job is stressed about what if, and the person who lost the job is stressed about what if I don't get the job, while the one that's in the
Mm.
job is stressing about what if I lose my job. So the question I had for myself
Yeah.
just the other day was, is there enough support out there for the time such as this? And by this, I'm referring to like counseling sessions. Are there platforms? Are there call centers? Is there spaces where one gets this kind of support that you need? So from your own space, did you feel, or do you feel right now that there's enough support, whether as government has supplied or just in your own space?
Yeah. You know what? The support is there. The support is there because I remember even after we got retrenched, we had another consultation, and we were told that if we need to speak to someone, we were given the platform to speak to whoever we want to speak to reach out to professionals to speak to, so that we could be, you know, we could understand like and be at peace with everything that's happening.
Yeah.
And what I can say to you, with me, the support actually came from my family. They actually played like a major role in
Wow.
supporting me with what I am going through. So that is why I even said it earlier that talking about it does help. Because at first I would pretend to be strong. That's what I would. I'd pretend to be strong, even when people would ask that, "Are you sure you're okay? Are you good?" I said, "No, I'm fine. Don't worry. It's life.
Mm,
Such things happen."
mm,
But deep down, I know that I am actually like falling apart and all that. So
mm,
talking to, I remember at some point, while I was at my place, I thought to myself that, you know what, maybe if I could go home, just be with my mom, then I
mm,
would feel like everything would just feel differently, you know? And that's what I did. I made sure that
yeah.
I drove back home to Free State to be with my,
Mm,
the very first day I saw my mom, I felt like, you know what, God, actually what's happening, it's not really that bad. Now that I'm this person that I can actually feel comfort from and all that, you know,
wow.
talking to my mom, yeah,
Mm,
like I could see it as well that she's also not taking it well, but she tried her best to be strong for me. That is why it's even easy for me to even talk about it now with you. Because I don't think the first week I got an email, I would be able to sit here and talk to you about it. So,
Wow.
yeah. Even now, I'm still home. Like, I'm enjoying being home.
It's quite interesting. I remember
It's
when
really
I
not
spoke to you. When I spoke to you last week, you said something very profound, and I was reflecting on that. And you said to me, you know what? As hard as this transition was, and as hard as it was for me to have been laid off, I still,
it's
the
not
one
up to
thing
me.
that has dawned on you, or when you put it that way, you said that the one thing that dawned on me is that that environment was toxic for me. It was not the
Exactly.
best place for me. So in other words, you got to a point where you said, it is what it is now. However, what have I learned? What is it? So in other words, if things were different, so you were saying that if I could have looked for another job, I could have done some things differently, whatever the case, because this environment was just toxic for me. So I'm actually happy to be out
Yeah.
of that space.
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes I look at it in that way that actually God helped me here. Because I do not remember one day I was excited to go to work. I don't. I don't.
Wow.
I didn't like it at all there. And I'm a bubbly person and I'm very, very crazy. So sometimes I couldn't be who I am because of how
Mm,
it was. I had to
mm,
adjust. And I
mm,
pretend to be someone that I'm not. So
mm.
even the office life in general, I'm not sure if it's for me. The way I am so crazy, I'm really not sure. But besides all that, the office that I was working in, I had that feeling that it's either we were pretending to be like a team, a family, or some. I really didn't like it at all. I don't want to lie to you. I was happy. It was a place whereby you happy when you see someone. The minute that person turns away, then you like, you know,
Mm.
yeah. It's that kind of feeling that I had in that office. So in a way, God helped me. It
Wow,
was
that is
God's
so
way of
inspiring.
saying you've been crying a lot here. So let me try and
Yeah.
move you and see. And I won't lie to you.
Yes.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy. And you can see I'm even glowing.
I can see. I was about to tell you, you just literally took those words out of my mouth. Uh, then the interesting thing is then there was quarantine, and we were now confined to the corners of your house and your yard space. And that's when I noticed and I picked up on a talent of yours. It was very interesting when I saw that vlog that you posted on YouTube. I was like, hey, Bato, if not for this, how would we have known all of this? So, what has that time, what did
That's
the
amazing.
quarantine and then being at home now, how has that time helped you literally tap into your purpose and the things that you want to do?
Yeah, thank God for the quarantine. Because actually, that's when that's when you can discover yourself, like your real you. That's when you
Mm,
can now find out what
mm,
is it that Thuto is all about. What is it
of
that Thuto likes or loves?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what is it that Thuto wanna do?
yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
I've done so many clips. I've tried to pretend to be working at a radio station. Like I've
Mm,
tried so
mm,
many things because that's
mm,
that's actually what I like. It's the
mm,
job that I was doing. I was doing
mm,
it because of um I had to survive, and it's something that I've studied for, but it's not what I like. It's not what I love. So now and I'm still gonna try and see if I can still get into the entertainment industry because that's exactly what I like. And the
mm,
quarantine as well, how it helped me, I got to know my family more. I didn't have time for my family with the job that I was doing because
mhm,
I was forever at the office. I
mhm.
would come early in the morning around 7 and still leave late after 10 at night.
Yeah.
And when I get home, I'm tired. I
Yeah.
can't even have a conversation with my family. I don't have the energy to do that. Now I can do that. Like I do all this crazy stuff with my child.
Mm,
We talk about everything. Like I'm now starting to get to know my family better. I realize
mm,
now that I actually didn't know my family. That's only
mm,
now that I'm getting to know them. So it
mm.
really did help. I don't wanna lie. It did.
I did think that I think the one comment I really just wanted to say that is that the one thing about life is that we all know that there's a core calling upon my life and talents and attributes and things that I really want to tap into. And we tend to hold on to, I want to survive, I have to do this, I have to do that. But I feel that sometimes when God also demands our attention, He will shift us. That is why if you saw your post,
Mm,
I said reposition. I thought,
yeah.
no, it's repositioning. But then I thought, it's repositioned because it's
It's
not
yes.
transitioning, you've been transitioned. And now that you are in the
Mm,
space that you're in, it is now your space to now say, okay, maybe the thing I've been trying to run away from is the thing that's going to bring my bread and butter. Maybe this is where my
you
cheese is going
know,
to come from. And I think for me, that's the one thing I want to share with you, particularly to say, girl, this is the time for you now to step out there and say, okay, this is what I can do. I've seen you act, I've seen you do things that I would have never imagined, never. So that really is just a comment, maybe just a little word that I want to say to you.
thank
Just tapping.
you. Yeah. And you know that I didn't even rehearse that. I didn't. I
Wow.
didn't. I was like, take me a video now. And they were like, "Hey, are you sure you don't want to rehearse?" I'm like, "There's nothing to rehearse. Take me a
Yeah.
video now. I'm doing it."
Mm.
And voila, I posted it same time. I didn't even waste
Wow.
time to post it.
Well, no, I think just definitely
Yeah.
tap into that. And I think you mentioned something. I wanted to ask, like, who's been of great support to you? And support comes in many different forms. Whether it's financial, emotional, psychological, spiritual, name it. Now, in your case, you already mentioned mom. But who else was of great support to you, and how did they support you during this time?
Um, I would mention Mama again. Once again, Mama will mention her until I don't know.
You are getting some credit.
Mama
I'm very
didn't.
sure she's sitting next to you.
No, she's not even here. Hey. No, she's not sitting next to me. Mama has been of great support, and also my partner. He's been there. My partner has actually been. I wouldn't even say he's been my punching bag, but you know what?
Oh
Like
my God.
he's really taken a lot. He was even doing everything for me at home. He was cooking. He was helping with the house chores. Like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't, and he would try to to make me like look at it in a brighter side and all that, because he would always say to me, remember the
Mm,
first day you started, already you had complaints on the very first day you started, and you've never
wow.
stopped complaining. So what if it is
Mm,
really time for you to move on? Yes, it is hard,
yeah.
especially how it came by, but what if it
Mm,
was time for
mm,
you to move on? You know what? I
yeah.
knew deep
Yeah.
inside that what they are saying is true, but the fact that, you know what, it happened, it was very,
Mm,
very, very difficult. But yeah,
mm.
Mama and my partner, they've been like, yeah, my great support team. I won't lie. They've been
Uh,
supporting me. And
I see Bianca said
there's a
he's
point.
great. He is great. She just typed there. She said he is great. So wherever
Yay!
he
Hi,
is,
team!
so wherever he is, you must just know that he is great. Compliments. And I
Thank
think I think for
you.
for, for me, it really is very inspiring when you say that, listen, a few weeks ago I would not be able to hold a stable conversation. I would not be able to like literally maintain my own emotions. But look at you now glowing. Look
I
at you now
wouldn't.
gorgeous. Look at you now, girl. Who would
I'm
have thought?
beautiful. I'm beautiful. You wouldn't even tell that I'm unemployed, hey?
Wow. Never, never. Unemployment has never looked that great. Never.
Never. I was even like, I was even considering moving out of my apartment because
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have a job. Like, what's gonna happen? And Mama was
Wow.
like, you're not moving out. Mama's
Yeah.
like, you're not moving out. I was like, Mama, I'm telling you, I'm coming back home. Like, there's nothing more for me to do here. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
still here. And she was
Yeah.
like, you're going nowhere. You're not moving
Wow.
out. You can come here, stay here for as long as you want, but you're not moving out of the apartment. You are not.
Wow.
I would do
No,
whatever
you're
it
not.
takes to make sure that you're not, like, yeah. I'm very much
Wow.
grateful. Yeah.
Wow. So what's your routine like? Do you know sometimes like when you're going through a change, some days you wake up, you feel
Hey.
excited, and some days you wake up, you feel all gloomy. Then some days you feel a certain way. Our emotions just have a way of also playing out. So what has helped you? What has been your coping mechanisms during this time? You already mentioned I've been talking, but what has really, really also helped you over and above maybe talking to your mom and that? Are there any other things that you found worked for you that for somebody else?
Yeah, like we, at the end of the day, whatever that's happening, we still have to leave, right? You can't be sitting like on your bed or lying on your bed the whole day, pitying yourself, crying nonstop. You have to
Mm.
leave at the end of the day. Even though
Mm.
Mama is there or Papa is there to make everything happen for you, what are you
Yeah,
doing as a person to make sure that you
yeah,
get up and you get out there and show the world that, you know what, no matter how life can take me down, I still have the
yeah,
courage to stand up and go out there and make the most out of my life. So you have to have goals as a person. What is it that you
mm.
need to achieve? We all set our
Yeah,
goals in the beginning of the year, so we can't let
yeah.
COVID-19 like put a stop or an end to that. There are many ways that you can still survive regardless of what's happening, even if it
Girl,
means
you're
that going out there.
inspirated. Don't make me cry, please.
Hey, hey, no crying, no crying. You said it, that's my mascara. So no crying, no crying. Yeah, so
Michelle is
even
watching, and she made a comment.
hello me.
She said always, she said, I always told you that you need to go into acting, my friend. It's your time to shine.
Ah,
Wow.
and she did. Wow.
Yeah.
Hi, Mish. And she
Yeah.
did.
So,
It's not even only Michelle. Like a lot of my friends have told me that, you know what, you can do this. You talented. And
mm,
I don't know if I'm just being lazy or what. I do not know. I don't know. So maybe that's why God made sure that I move away from the corporate space just a little bit so that I can try that. You never know. Maybe tomorrow you might see me
definitely.
somewhere.
Definitely. I think this is that time because a lot of the time when you procrastinate, you will say, I will do it tomorrow, put it off till tomorrow. And I find
Exactly.
that like what I noticed during the quarantine for me personally is that I put off so many things prior. I would always say, I'll write over the weekend, I'll do this over the weekend. And now one day there was just a lot of time, and you're like, listen, I don't have a choice. I need to find stuff to do. I need to find stuff that will just invigorate me, things that will just make me
Yeah.
excited and that. So it really helped with that. So for you also, I think it was that space that also helped you tap into this thing that you've been sitting on. And I think for me, the next conversation I have with you, I want to know which role or where, which channel, and that's the conversation you need to be having because there's now time and platform for you now to say, okay, I've been running away from this. Like, how about I face it head on now? How about I
Mm.
just start tapping into this thing? So that's just, yeah, just, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely pursue that. I'll definitely pursue that. I once went to Bloemfontein for Lesedi FM auditions, and guess what? I went on a wrong date.
Wow. It wasn't your time yet. It wasn't time yet.
No, I went to the wrong day. I went the day before the auditions. And then I got there. I'm like, why is it empty? Where are the people? Then I asked her how. Aren't you guys supposed to be having auditions? They're like, no, we're only starting tomorrow. I'm like, what? You know the drive from Kronstadt to Bloemfontein? Not even from Kronstadt because I was in Gauteng that time. The drive from Boksburg to Bloemfontein. For my hand. But yeah, now it's my time. Now I'm ready.
So I'm gonna be bouncing and basically reading some stuff as we're moving along, because there's some great points that I don't wanna miss out. Nikita is also watching. She says, and you should sing, Thuto. So apparently you sing too.
No. Do not put me on the spot.
And the next one here I have is that my chakalaka friend. Oh wow, she loves chakalaka too. So you've showed me that you are indeed strong. And this is from Tans. I think she sent me an invite yesterday. So it's from Tans. And she said, and I can't wait to see you fulfill other dreams. I know that God has already answered your prayers. I love you. Oh gosh, guys, please let's stop it. This is gonna get too emotional.
You guys are gonna make me cry. Yeah, this is my friend. Ooh, you guys are gonna make me cry.
And when I asked about whether there's enough support out there, platforms or call centers, please hold it out. Let's compose.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. I love you guys.
When I was on Facebook one time, I think it was 2 days ago, and I saw there was a status making its rounds on Facebook, and it was a call center number for I think it's depression and anxiety call center. I took note of it because I wanted to also, when I post this video, I want to share it with everybody, because whether a person has lost a job or not, just people need to talk, and they need to talk to professionals. So I took note of the number, but now guess what I observed? So the first thing I did, I called, because I wanted to know what's the waiting time. You know, it's easy to get these numbers, but then how long do you wait before somebody picks the call, and how attentive are they? Do they give you specific attention? Is it just a quick rough, let's just get over with this one and move on to the next one? So I dialed the number. It was late in the evening, around 7 p.m. and there was no response. It just rang, and then I just hung up. Guess what? An hour later, they called me back. So I look at the number, I'm like, listen, this is the number I called. I was like, what? So basically what I'm trying to say is... An hour later. The thing that really, for me, that I'm trying to highlight is the fact that they picked up that somebody tried to call. And so when I asked about support, I was so excited to see that, because for me, it showed me that, so they probably get numerous calls right now. You know, and when they don't, when they're not able to answer, when they're not able to answer the call, they do call you back. So that for me was the most encouraging thing ever. So when I share the video, I will share the number also, so that the people can really just call and just talk, get professional help. And yeah, so that was really something that really just like, it moved me.
And I would also like to actually like really urge people to really make use of the number and call the number, because of depression is real. Depression is real, and it does, like, people does commit suicides due to depression, and people get depressed due to the situation that we find ourselves in. You know what? People lose their jobs, and those people that are losing jobs, you do not know if there was a breadwinner at their homes. So already they thinking that I was feeding so many mouths, so what's gonna happen now? That's one thing that will actually lead you to depression. And next thing, people commit suicide. You know, that is why I was even saying to people, talk about it. Do not let it in. Talk about it. and reach out to professionals so that they can help you. They know the guidelines on how to help you and all that. So make
Wow.
use of the number. Call the number. It will really help. Yeah,
Okay,
we've
so
had so many stories of suicidal and all that, and
of
most
course,
of it is because of depression.
of course,
Yeah.
of course, of course. Um, I think depression really has been one of the biggest, like if you look at some of whether it's like mental health is one of the most, it needs urgent attention because as you see, and as I think people are going through depression for various reasons. And with this
Yeah.
pandemic and everything that has actually come as a result of that, or adds on to it already. I want you to imagine
Yeah.
already having depression naturally in J just as a person, and now all of a
Mm-mm.
sudden this added to it. So that is something. So that's why for me, I was so super excited when I saw that they called back. So in other words, if someone does reach out to them and the person is not able to get through, they will call you back. So
They
that
call
for
you
me,
back. Yeah.
I'm gonna share that number. I'm gonna tag it. I'm gonna post it. There's someone out there that needs to call. There's someone out there that needs to
It's
talk to
really going
somebody.
to
That
help.
help is there.
Can you
And then,
imagine that even
sorry.
even with us, as we've lost our jobs, can you imagine that there are people that has also lost their businesses? So
Wow.
they actually feeling the knot as well. Yes, we
Yeah,
focus in the knot as well. So it can really
definitely.
help.
Okay, so I have another comment here. They say, let me tag someone from Lesedi FM. Hmm. Hle buang
Yes!
Sesotho. They say hle buang
Motheke ngwana
Sesotho.
ntate ke tlo hasa le yena ko Lesedi FM.
They've tagged Sipati Soke, and she's one of our radio personalities. So say something in Sesotho.
Yes.
I'm sure she will hear you, and I'm sure now she'll say, "Girl, you don't need that audition. Just come here already."
So ho tswa hore ke bua jwalo ka ka reng ke a hasa ne. Ha ke re ke bua jwalo ka reng ke a hasa. E re ke etse he, e re ke etse. Momamedi re a o leboga mona ho Lesedi FM o dutse le yena kgaitsedi ya motho e leng yena Thuto ka mona ka Maokeng. Ngwana ntate ke re o ntshware mohaleng mona re tlo re kgone ho bua ntate. Dingata tse re tshwanelang ho bua ka tsona tsatsing la kasheko. Ha o nka ntshwara mo mohaleng ngwana ntate re tla kgona ho bua ke utlwe mo leng teng ko tshware be mmoho ho fihlela horeng ya 10.
Girl! Abdinam, thank you so much for tagging. And
Thank you, thank you,
give,
thank you.
given is saying all the best for anything in the future, just to saying all the best. And then
Thank you, Given.
I feel like you've shared quite a lot of encouragement, but maybe there's
Yes.
something you want to add. The question I had was, what is a word of encouragement that you want to share with somebody, anybody impacted and not impacted? Because ultimately, we're really just all in the same boat at this stage. So is there a specific thing you want to share or some words you want to leave for everybody? So yeah.
Yeah. What I can say to people that, yeah, 2020 hasn't been like the year that we thought it would, but all that's been happening, God is there. God is with us, and He knew it before we even knew it that we were gonna face a time like this, and He still loves us regardless. And if you look into the Bible, the story of Job, remember Job lost everything. Job lost everything in a way that even people were mocking at him, saying to him, "Where's your God? You said God is always with you. God loves you. Where is that God now? What's happening now? You know what? Call on to that God. Let that God change your life now." But despite it all, Job remained faithful to God. And he said, with everything that's happening, I would still carry on and worship your name, you know. And what happened afterwards? Job got everything, even more than what he had. So people must just remain faithful that God put us in situations He can still get us out of. So
Wow.
still pray, stay focused, stay positive. Nothing remains. Nobody said life is gonna be easy. Nobody said it. So why do you expect it to be easy? And for you to get what you want, you always have to fight. If you do not fight, you will never get what you want. So even though life knocks you down in a way that you can't even feel your body anymore, rapela, rapela, tshepa Modimo. God will see you through. Psalm 27, Psalm 27, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? So, udulana le nna ka nako tsohle. There's nothing, even Corona, it won't let me doubt Modimo. It will never. It will never. So that's what I want to say. To those that are going through what I'm going through now, stop crying, stop pitying yourself. Stop covering yourself karikobo all day. I'm sorry, why does this have to happen to me? Who did you want it to happen to? If you don't want it to happen to you, get out there and make the best of your life.
Your strength makes me
You're
cry.
gonna make me cry again.
Your strength just makes me cry. You're too strong. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Norma made a comment and she said, your story is amazing. It shows that you're a strong person. Keep pushing, my dear. It's clear that God has your back.
Thank
then
you.
I have another comment.
All the time.
I have another comment from Johnson. He's saying, from what you are saying, I feel that we place too much expectation on our jobs. Let this be a very good reason for us to also have multiple income. Yes. Next one,
thank you.
Bianca. Miss Bianca is saying your passion for life cannot be taken away from you.
Yeah, thank you.
Miss Cherry, Ann Johnson, sorry. She says, yes, I know my Redeemer lives. Hallelujah. She says double portion to you.
Amen to that.
And I don't think I have any more questions. I don't know if those people who are watching and who are following this broadcast, if they have any questions, I will mention them as they come. But I did say that towards the end, I've asked you questions. If there are questions that you have for me, you're also free to shoot. And yeah.
Yeah, I just want to know, because from what I know about you, you're a motivational speaker. So, you know. So, I just want to know from you, like, you know what, sometimes there might be any sermons or whatever where you have to encourage people, advise them, especially people that are going through what I'm going through, or even more, you know. So how would you advise, like, people that, you know what, this is just a phase, it's still gonna pass? Your advice to them.
I think I was meant to have a copy of my book here because I wanted to give one book away, and it's in the study room now, so I don't have it on me. So I think the one thing I learned about life, that was in 2016, is that a lot of adversities and pain that we go through, we have what it takes to come out of it. That was one thing I learned. I went through what I thought was going to destroy and take my life. It wasn't going to be me taking my own life. That thing was so painful that I felt it was going to take me out. But funny enough, it was actually the time where I gathered strength to write a book. I wrote with tears. Some days I would have like an exam pad in front of me with a pen trying to write, and the book would just be soaked because of my tears. I wasn't able to write a single sentence in composure. Every time I would try to write, it would just come. But when you read the book, I think I love that I wrote it during that time, because it gives you get the emotional thing out of it. It's not just a book that was just written, hey, I'm broken. Like, you feel the intensity of what I was feeling. Now, having come through that, I still remember one day I said, you know what? I understand now that whatever situation that God puts me in, I will always come out. You know, and coming just very lightly, the Bible says that we are more than victorious, and that whatever I find myself in, I will always come out. And that is the one thing for me that has really just, for me, it's just been that key thing that says, no matter how hard the situation is, I know I'm going to come out. And coming out is not the only thing that you're going to get. There's also there's a promise that you will come out victorious. You will come out with a testimony. So for me back then, what was a difficult time? I came out with a book. I was qualified as an author only through a situation that I wouldn't have read about. It really wasn't going to be one thing that I observe from a distance and I say, yeah, going through pain. I had to go through it, to talk about it, in order to write about it. So there's nothing that will ever be presented or that will ever find ourselves in that we can never bounce back from. Never. There's nothing. It reached the width end of your journey. That's when God's journey begins in your life. So for me back then, even the motivational speaking, that's when all of these things were born out of that. So it actually was the greatest blessing to me. But when I was going through it, it was the most devastating thing ever. So that said, we have what it takes to always bounce back and to come out of situations.
True. Wow.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
Thank you. I have a comment here from Johnson again. He says, just keep smiling and being happy. Many won't understand, but your smile and laugh is really encouraging. Wow. So you don't have to say much to people. Just laughing and just being is enough to encourage.
And just smiling.
Yeah. Let me see.
Thank you very much.
Namo is saying, mental toughness is key. Equip yourself with more than one life skill. Keep reinventing yourself. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it really has been such a great privilege. I don't know how many minutes of your time I've taken already. I thank you for that. I thank you also for sharing your insight. Oh, no, but before I close, there's a question. What's on the cards for you now? What opportunities are you chasing now? Are there things that you're busy with now? What's on the cards?
Yeah, there are things that I'm still busy with right now. Actually, it's some things that we actually looking at as a family. We're looking into investing into property. So, I might be the new chef someday. And mind you, I don't like cooking, but it's something that I'm also looking into. So I can't really say much about it now, but yeah, there are things I'm working on.
Definitely. And when you do decide to push, when you do decide to be vocal and public about that, share it with me and I'll help you be vocal about that. But I also, I think from my space, you're a strong woman. You are actually stronger than you think. I think you're the most gorgeous woman also. And I'm very, very inspired. I worked with you in our own space, and it was always a pleasure dealing with you. I would send you an email within a minute, you would have replied, and you were always accurate. You're always, you're just, I don't know, I can talk and I can go on and on and on. But a lot of the time we are told that he was such a great man at a funeral. But you ask yourself, when that person was around, did you like kind of like mention these things?
You never told them.
Yes. Exactly. So for me, you've really been an inspiration to me, and I've loved watching your statuses even on WhatsApp and following you on those spaces, because it always brought, even if it was just a picture, it just a glow happiness is so, so contagious. And I really just want to thank you for that. And 2020, just closing off, they said, you know that song, that part, yeah, the national anthem, Bare 2020,
Yeah.
like that part, yeah, it doesn't make sense.
But ya rona he, but ya rona.
You know that part, yeah, 2020 for
Get
us.
2020.
Yeah,
Get
so
2020. Yeah.
so as uncertain as I mean as I don't know, it's been such a tough one. A couple of weeks have really just seemed like the whole year, but I still believe that there's a lot coming.
Mm,
There's a lot of things that are going to emerge, and even for you, I pray and hope that every shut door would be open, every opportunity, and everything that you've really ever wanted. At this time, you will now have the courage to step out there and really, really just go and just push your thing. And yeah, so thank you for being an
mm,
inspiration. And I know there's people watching now. I know that we
yeah.
might only reach one person. The one thing that I said for me, for myself personally, I said, as a motivational speaker, if I touch just one life, just one, I don't care that
You've
there are
done a
400. If it's just
mm,
for one person, let it be. And if this message is going to reach that one person today, then I'm going to say that I'm a happy girl and that
yeah.
I've done something today, you know. So for you, thank
Hopefully
you.
we've helped someone. Yeah.
Definitely.
No,
And
thank you for choosing me because I'm sure like there were a lot of people that you could have chosen, but you decided to go with me. So thank you for choosing me. Maybe something that I've said today actually knocked something out of someone's head that you know what, with whatever that's happening, we still have to go on. You know
no,
what? Life is a journey.
yeah,
Nobody said it's gonna be easy. And
yeah,
I just also wanted to say before we close that even though people might see 2020 as a but we should also see the positiveness out of it. Because with the whole quarantine and all that, as I've said to you, the good thing that came out is that I got to learn my family even more. So
mm,
those are the positive things that we can look at. And we should also we can also say that maybe God is preparing us for something better. Some
yes,
people didn't even know God. Now people
yes,
know God because of what happened. And
correct.
this, we should take this as a second chance for everything
Wow.
that you couldn't have done for the past years. Look at 2020 as a year for you to make changes upon your life. Let 2020 change the way you were living. You know, there are
Yeah.
like greater things that we could do, that we could be out there. So look at 2020 as like a way of you getting a second chance in life.
I actually have the whole thing for
Yeah,
it. I actually thought about it. 2020, the year of repositioning. That is what 2020 has been. Year
exactly.
of
Yes,
repositioning.
it's
There's
not that bad after all. It is not that
there's
bad.
Mr. Johnson, that's Bay. He's watching all the way from Nigeria, and I really appreciate that he's sitting watching now.
Oh, hi,
Um,
hi, Nigeria. Hello, Mr. Johnson in Nigeria.
he's saying, Miss Angie, thank you for this program. It's really inspiring. And then we have tons. Also, Lorraine Bila Ore. Thank you, beautiful ladies. May God is feeding while I'm listening to you. I couldn't miss it at all. I'm still praying for the both of you. Outstanding. Thank you so, so, so much.
Ah,
Bianca,
thank
this
you.
is
God
also
bless
saying
you.
you guys are amazing with capital letters in caps, and she
Yes,
says, and you're so strong and so inspiring. That's why I said for me that even if I just reached one person, so for the comments that have been made already, there's been more than 2 or 3 lives that
yes,
somehow we've just inspired someone, and that is really what
yes.
I only be grateful for that. So, Miss Tuto, I will be following you. I will be hounding you. I will also be interviewing you again. And when you are there, out there, please, whether radio station or television, girl, I have your. You can't escape me. So I wish you all
No,
the very
I
best.
won't.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sure people would also want to have another session of me and you.
Of course, of course. I'm gonna do a follow-up. I'm gonna do a follow-up at a later stage to see where you are and what you've started and what other inspiring and exciting ventures you've undertaken, that sort of thing. So I'll certainly be in touch. And I mean, I follow you on most platforms, so I'll be able to also kind of just be like, it's time to do the next interview. So, girl, you made me cry for a second. Thank you very much. May you have a very, very, very beautiful weekend. And once again, thank you for your time. And thanks to everybody who really has been watching and who has been commenting. I mean, I see there's a lot of people, Buyani watching. I have Uche from Nigeria. Oh my gosh, you see, girl, this thing is big.
We're even in Nigeria.
I have Uche from Nigeria. I have Norma from Cape Town. Mr. Johnson also from Cape Town. I see Felicia Squebu. I see Michelle. We have another person from Nigeria. Isaiah has been watching. Hello, sir. Thank you for watching. Veronica. I think Veronica is also from Kronstadt. Okay, she's from Paris, I think. Yeah, Paris. We also have Bianca's been watching. Deirdre, Bianca again, yes. Tans, Michelle, I've mentioned. Coliso has been watching. I'm just naming these few names.
And
Nikita.
Michelle's not in South Africa. Nine Mish.
And Bianca is saying something about singing. So I feel like people are expecting you to sing.
Hey, I can't sing.
This singing thing is like, it's been repeated more than once already. So, Nikita says she misses
another session. I will see you on another session.
Yeah, she says, I miss your moodly laugh. We have Glenn watching. That is Nikita.
I miss you too, Nick.
So, girl, thank you so much. I'll definitely be in touch. All the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know what more to say, but I really am inspired. I'm also going to get off this broadcast. I'm going to start writing. I'm going to start doing some things and planning so many other things, because I think the things you've said have also kind of just nudged me to really just step into some things that I need to be doing. So thank you for inspiring me too. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.